The autumn term here at Colleton Grammar School has seen some major new developments on the school site, with an extension to our canteen, new changing rooms in the sports centre and continuing work to refurbish the cultural hall. As usual, the school has been a hive of extracurricular activity with charity events, foreign exchanges, work experience, trips, clubs, performances and many other opportunities enhancing students' personal development and enjoyment of school life. Here are just a few examples of the many exciting projects that have taken place this term.
Why would they be doing that? Why is that potential?
This September saw our annual Year 7 history trip to Totnes Town and Castle. For many of our students it was the first chance for them to reach out and touch the very period of history they are studying, in this case the Motte and Bailey castles of the Norman Conquest. During the trip, students were asked to consider why the castle was located in the position that it was, look at examples of change and continuity and design their own plan of attack, as well as consider how the castle worked in conjunction with other methods of control such as the feudal system and the church. We hope that the trip left our students with a clear sense that history is all around them, ready and waiting to be explored.
This term, Year 8 has taken part in a cross-curricular project involving art, music and English. In September, all of Year 8 visited the nearby quarry caves and they were captivated by what they learned on the tour about the bats who live in the cave, the fact that youngsters as young as 8 worked there, and of course tales of smuggling. The resultant work in English has been centred on creative writing. In music, pieces have been produced linked to the visit to the caves, and in art students have made beautiful shadow puppets and prints.
It's been a really busy term for the English department. We started with a Year 13 trip to the battlefields of World War I, which was very important in this centennial year. We've also had 2 author visits. A range of students were treated to a visit by Brian Patten, the well-known poet, and that was as a result of a Year 8 winning the prestigious John Betjeman Prize. We also very recently had the Carnegie Medal winner Tim Bowler, who came to talk to Year 9s about writing narratives. We've had a number of theatre trips. Year 10 went to see A Midsummer Night's Dream in Bridport, and that was very entertaining and much sillier than I think a lot of the students were expecting it to be. And more recently, Year 8 went to Exeter to watch Macbeth, which was thought-provoking for them.
At the beginning of November, myself and Mr Moran went up to London with 4 of our Year 11 politics students to visit the Speaker of the House of Commons, John Bercow, because they had got to the final of a Political Studies Association competition. The competition involved them making a short film, about 4 minutes, about a current topic, and this year it was all about the EU and whether we should stay in or go out. The group were very imaginative and they put together a short Lego stop-go animation which was really good and got them through to the final. So on the day we travelled up to London and we were slightly overawed by the magnificence of the Speaker's house, but they were very good and they spoke very well about their topic, not just on that but they had to talk about the Scottish referendum as well, and they weren't unfortunately the winners but they were second, which was even more pleasing because the rest of the contestants were Year 13 students, so they did really well. It was a really good experience for them going up to London and going to the House of Parliament, which was really good, and hopefully we'll do even better in subsequent competitions.
So we had the idea of organising a Great Colleton Bake Off, sort of based on the Great British Bake Off, but adapted, so it involved students from Year 7 right up to Year 13, it involved teachers, it involved site staff.
We did a film of this after school, which took about an hour with all the contestants making different types of bake. Took lots of different films from different angles, and then Mr Moran used his technical wizardry to put all of this together into one episode that we then showed at lunchtime. to raise money for charity. Raised about £100 in total.
I think particular highlights were Mr Moran as Paul Hollywood and Mr Banks playing Mary Berry. So it went down really well when we showed it at the lunchtime showings, and it got everyone into a really festive mood for Christmas.
Join us. I wouldn't serve this to my dog.
This term, the Music and Drama departments produced Guys and Dolls, and we performed it at the Gateway in Seaton. We had sell-out audiences every evening, and the students involved were absolutely fantastic. We chose to do Guys and Dolls because it's such a fun musical. We had over 60 students involved in the production, with students on stage and also behind the scenes doing lighting, sound, costume and choreography.
For my extended project this year, I did the costumes for Guys and Dolls, which was great for me because I've always absolutely loved doing kind of the artistic side of things. It was actually quite hard to kind of coordinate all of the cast together, but they all helped out so much. They all brought in, for the crap shooters, they all had suits and they all brought in different accessories, so braces and bow ties and things, and they all really got into it. There were a lot of varying shades of colour in all of their costumes.
It was fantastic for the students to have the opportunity to perform in a real theatre, and that really upped their performance. Feedback from the audience was that the show was professional and polished, and the students really did themselves proud.
For my extended project, I helped with the directing in Guys and Dolls. I have always been a performer, but I thought, thinking about future career prospects, that I'd give directing a go. I was mainly involved in helping with the choreography, which, to be honest, I was quite nervous about, especially the boys. I wasn't sure they'd be okay with doing salsa dancing, but they got really into it. On the actual stage nights, I was backstage in the wings, which was a lot more stressful than I thought it was going to be. But it was a really great experience to be there and help the cast go on and off, be in charge of props, do set changes. It was a different side of theatre which I'd never experienced before, and so it really opened my eyes.
It was a really fun experience, and I hope that everybody involved enjoyed it and that the audience who supported it enjoyed their evenings as well.